Did anyone see the video of him talking about medians today?
We're going to be live in a minute, just so you know. In a minute, yeah. Just so, you might want to hold that off. Either get it out really fast, or
just watch the video. He was talking about.
We're on.
Yes. You just have to just look it up. First minutes. All right. You let me know. Good. Okay. First, meeting for council. Pledge of allegiance. That's John. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll ask everybody to join me in silence. Another mass shooting today, this time in Austin at Target, where there were 3 killed and countless other instances occurred, certainly in the past month and beyond. And it's concerning to me. I don't make a lot of political statements that try not to, but that's all that. It becomes somewhat sensitized to a lot of this. Certainly, cycle that is constantly changing, chaos and chaotic. I just think it's a continue to hope and work with our legislators to create reasonable gun laws. And hopefully we should. So, thank you. This meeting is being held in compliance with New Jersey Public Meetings Act, advertised in retrospect, bulletin board downstairs, and all official through social media channels. I ask for those of you joining us here in person this evening, cell phones on silent, speak with somebody while we cover business, and ask you to step outside. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald? Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Perna? Mr. Sparaza?
Here.
Mr. Woods?
Here.
Have fun.
Thank you very much. First item on the agenda this evening is the public portion of the meeting, and if the public wishes to come forward and speak on any topic, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Harry Menster, I just wanted to voice my concern about the Hampton Road development. I'm sure you've all seen that, it's Cherry Hill, but I'm sure you all anticipate no change to traffic in our town, and I'm particularly worried about Plymouth Place. There's no fewer, I've talked to the kids I know on that street, there's 16 kids on that street, and I'm hoping that you're planning some kind of traffic control or monitoring. I know it's County Road, but I also know that you have the relationship with county officials. I have procured plans. If you don't have them, please in the industry, I have access to them. There's 250 units. These 400 cars. I just hope that you'll do some proactive planning about that. That's already a runway, and the rate that's on it, it's already a runway. Just worried that it's going to become much more so. It's such a cut through to Chapel Avenue, Church Road.
Yeah, I agree. Look, there's some positives for us when I think about the small businesses in town and
Sure.
that amount of people are going to be close by. But we're certainly aware of that, and working with the county to see that road sort of tighten it up. They're going to be reluctant to put any sort of tables or speed humps or anything along those lines. So I don't know exactly what it may end up having to put stop signs, signal, etc. I think probably in Somerset is. Yeah. So we're going to continue to have this. Yep. Anyone else from the public? Hearing and seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the meeting. We'll go to the approval of the minutes from July 14th, 2025 meeting. Everyone here, and vote, please. So I have a motion. So, second, Mr. Wood, first, Mr. Boone, second, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much. Engineers report, Mr. Lee, good evening.
Good evening, Council. So, went through it last week, submitted final documents for drafts, final documents for Somerset Road Phase 1, with all the adjustments, liquidated damages, deductions, to try and get us to the closeout. I think we could look at the numbers. We're still within the grant amount. Typically, when the construction, when the bids come in under the grant amount, usually it's then quantities to get to that amount. We did not do that, so we did have a little bit under the grant amount to do that. So there was some quantity adjustments we things that were justified, but we did subtract liquidated damages, the request for additional effort. So I'd like the council to review that before us contract with the signatures when we put it to the trustees.
Yeah, and the reason why we didn't seek additional funds.
No, they were just not responsive. They could barely do what
Well,
the
yeah.
original contract was.
Okay.
Somerset Road Phase 2, documents have been resubmitted as of Friday, as the DOTs want to do, they changed the formatting, contract documents, so it's a little bit of extra work to get that specifications, as opposed to a normal format. We did that, so we expect to get approval within the next couple of days, so we can still approval of like the documents for advertisement, so we can this section of Phase 2 will be less impactful to the community center and gas screening. And hopefully we'll encourage some contractors, discourage some contractors. One item that Denise and I have discussed with Kevin is the removal of a tree in Somerset that the borough is going to take care of before we get a contract with contractor.
Okay.
It's just a single tree. It's across the street from the community center. He would not survive if we tried to work. So we'll work on it. Yes,
Okay. I would just make sure you work with the shade tree commission on that. Like, should be replanting that area.
Well, I mean, we have to by ordinance for sure.
I just don't know if in that area is the right place to put it somewhere else as well.
I mean, we'd have to after construction's done, but I would imagine that it's something in there, pick the right tree, but I don't know the location. The tree that they're removing, is that the residential property at the corner of Green Lane on, like if you're
it's more on Somerset.
facing away from the right, it's like right by the
driveway.
Yes.
I think they previously that tree anyway, so.
It's full enough the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try to.
I think the tree is healthy, just wasn't meant for that.
Yeah, it was that. We could try to tree plate it, but it's not going to survive, so it should be proactive.
It's not a tree that we have, right?
No.
Just want to put them on notice of that too.
Make sure it's made
Something, yes.
I'm not aware
I'm just saying.
Not aware of that.
Okay.
It's a locust, but it's big.
Good.
Other than that, we will continue to work with the borough on the CPF grant. Trying to make progress on that. Many of the improvements to the borough.
Okay. I had an occasion to have an engineer out here on Thursday last week. We discussed some Center Street stuff, including some. I had spoken to you about some of the safety concerns and things I'm working on. I'd like to have him take a look at for Chestnut and Center right there with use path across.
Yes, additional traffic from.
So he's going to look into that. I don't want to commit that he said he's going to have a traffic study down there, but he said I'll look into something. I also talked to him about actually taking a foot or two of our right away on this side of the Borough property side to bump in parking so that it creates a little bit of space and reduce the amount of clippings that we have, mirrors, which occurs pretty regularly on Center Street right in this area. He wasn't as bullish on that, but he said he would take a look at it and consider some options here. He said he wanted, like, well, if you're taking two there, you should take two on the other side. So, yeah, those are businesses. This is our government building. You know, we don't need street frontage. They may. So, yeah, he's a little bit that, but I just thought I'd let you know that conversation last week. That's all. All right. Yeah, other questions, engineer? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Ethan, here you go. This is for you. What's going on? You- Yeah, it looks like it's dirty.
I changed it, working this way, and we had to clean it, so.
All right. Mr. Perner, 41. Okay. Next item on the agenda, correspondence. Any correspondence? Okay. Council reports?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a quick update from, Shade Tree, and last time, we were here, I talked about the fact that we need to update our Water Street management plan, to by the end of the year. We're looking at going in for some grant funding. The initial quote that we had was more than the grant amount, but luckily we were able to find another vendor that's willing to do it for $5,000, the total grant amount. We do have a we pay share of that, $12.50 is our contribution, but we can make that up in volunteer hours. So I anticipate it's nothing's coming out of the Shade Tree budget. We've already submitted the grant application, we've already been approved. I imagine it's going to be for the full amount, but we haven't gotten the final details of it yet, but it should be paid in full.
Do we need to approve a contract with that vendor then?
Once we have that,
Or
yeah.
how long is it going to take to get this project done? Do we approve by the end of the year?
I think so. They didn't give us any sense of urgency. It seems like they've done this in the past. But, you know, they said that they had thought we might get the grant for probably going to be more like a month. Yeah. But we have the Shade Tree meeting this Thursday. I'll see if we can get the contract on that together.
And when you get the grant as well, you need to give us the letter, so we can bring the grant as well.
Right, because we have to bring that in.
That's all I have.
Okay, great question. All right.
All right, thank you, Governor. So our report for July, 2 virtual sessions, 1 person, 237 cases added, 23 smooths, $6,607.16 turned over. Diversity committee is going to apply some for the committee that they are having next meeting, August 19th. When they will be planning for the St. Courage month, which is next month, and planning for supporting the fall events that are coming up. So I think this is where activity after that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Questions? Mr. Stroud.
Thank you, Your Honor. Original fire, 23 calls last month. Inside of Montreal Hill. This is the first time I ever saw that group piece of equipment working, no issues, one thing broken, except the Randall 50 do not open it. So that's it.
No, just please not going.
All right, original code, up to 142 inspections, 85 re-inspections, certificates of inspection issue 60, permits issued 20. Last one, violations issued 115, violations 107. Right now, sorry, that was Code enforcement in 63, makes open currently closed, like next year, 5. Open obviously means that in court and everything else that happens. And rental inspections, 114 expected, open violation 29, open violation 85, that's 32. Resale inspections still pretty strong, 39 additional, 35 inspections. Just pretty much slower than the house market.
100%.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Merchant Police Department for the month of July were involved in 1,126 incidents. Does include 156 officer initiated interactions with members of the community. Merchant Police Department conducted 208 traffic stops. There were 80 parking enforcement incidents. There were 14 arrests and 2 WI arrests. Merchant Police Department did wrap up with support wrapping up parks and playgrounds program by having officers serve the building with Mr. Softy on the SDA program. They also continue to conduct strategic traffic enforcement, again returning to Chestnut Ave Center to park at construction. They conducted 153 proactive patrols, observed 10 violations. There were 6 summonses issued and 7 warnings. Officers will continue to proactive at this intersection throughout the month of August. Also, at the end of July, officers conducted selective enforcement in front of the One Staff Center to address complaints of improper drop-off lines in the area. 25 selective enforcement on violation of observed and some issue. Last but not least, Officer Hogan Mercado and joined the Merchant Police Department at the beginning of May, has successfully field training and line shift, and is a full-fledged member of the department on the field in August 1st. That is all I have to say. Sure. I had a discussion with Chief Gracia earlier this morning, referencing a couple of different ordinances being passed amongst other communities in what's the right word here? Having better ability to I want to say force juveniles, but manage the issue. Manage the issue. So I think, again, it's a well-known concern of police that it's a bit challenging in the state of New Jersey. If we look at our particular ordinances here in the borough, with the exception of curfew, we're kind of light than addressing anything on, again, handling issues that involve juveniles. But there's been a couple of recent ordinances, and Chief Ross reached out to Solicitor Higgins about coming up with our own ordinance that would put our department in a better position to manage those issues.
Yeah, the Attorney General guidelines of the state of New Jersey are very difficult for our police throughout the state manage juvenile issues. And while I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily against some of the Attorney General guidelines, policies behind it, I think that it has really not allowed our officers to enforce certainly nuisance actions by repeated nuisance actions, I should say, by juveniles within or the Attorney General guidelines essentially say in Ames, you can take their approximate age and some other demographic information, that's it, and give them there to go. We have had a number of instances throughout the past few years, juveniles, particularly juveniles on bicycles, electric bikes, whatever, about town, creating nuisance, disruption, etc. We had a recent incident last week that um, I would say that I don't want to speak specifically on that incident, but other incidents just like that. And what you are seeing, and what I have seen over time, dedicating matters in sort of a vigilant justice way to defend their interests or whatever. And so this isn't just here. There are other incidents that are more well known. Pennsauken Township had a Pennsauken Day that was disrupted last year. Gloucester Township so that instance concerns it. So the recent development report of what I think communities are trying to do, Gloucester Township, Gloucester City, Belmar, some other communities, is implement a parental responsibility portion to their code for instances of repeated violations. The ordinance is specific. Offenses against public safety, and morals as they qualify, felonies, violation of penal law, act which is prosecuted disorderly persons, gambling cases, etc., etc., etc. But what we're dealing with is sort of person issues, and frankly, I think, I'm supportive of putting something like this in place. We need to be able to provide some sort of enforcement mechanism. Young people be repeatedly out and violating the law and causing a nuisance disorder in our community. So we have an ordinance that we're asking council to see as council talking about. There will probably be a lot of comment thoughts and processes that they're concern ourselves with here, and I encourage council to look at this. We're not trying to rush this through. We just want to get it out there and introduced this evening. And I'm going to ask council to do that later in this meeting. I think ultimately our timeline is there are going to be substantial revisions to this, but I would like to have this in place prior to Halloween. Which is a period of time when we know that we able to provide our officers with as many tools as possible to keep our community safe. And as much as we love monsterdom, we do. Past few years, as curfew and as Halloween is coming to an end, we've had multiple incidents that have luckily not become significant. So I'd like to be able to have something in place that gives us something to hold somebody accountable. So I'll pass this around. The council will be talking about it a little bit. So, Andrew, anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Questions?
Did you see a copy before you see it?
There's a couple of aspects on this.
Sure.
And what does this say? I mean, there's certain types of delinquents, like, they did that an officer can't pass pages, depends on and that sort, so I understand some of the baseline, I was just kind of curious, what is the ordinance saying that?
Repeated juvenile nuisance and
Just using
disorderly persons.
Okay.
Most likely. Or
because if it's disorderly person, I'm saying it's still pass for. If disorderly person is an issue.
and I mean, listen, you're going to sit here and
No,
there's after and verse, and I'm not going to, you can talk to the chief about that. That's fine. All I'm trying to do at this point is provide something for our police to be able to enforce things because, look, you want to get into the specific legal aspects of it.
trying to get some. I'm asking these questions. I haven't seen anything yet, so I'm asking the reason.
No, but it is this.
If you want to read it, I don't think.
This is concealed with nonstop disorderly person nuisance issues we've had in this community for at least the last 4 years. I'm just, that's the intent, and I think this is consistent also with what other communities are trying to do. Provide police with an opportunity to bring somebody in.
Not disagree with that, that's.
So, and I don't know how much is hearsay and how much is actually within the Attorney General's guidance, but, I mean, we're not able, the police aren't able to ask the kids' names, I mean, how are they gonna know who their guardian is or their parent?
I would assume that based upon what's in this ordinance, that they would have to, if they're repeated violators, then they can bring them in and the parents would have to come get them.
Yeah,
And
I didn't see
that's
anything
what-
about repeat offenses, it just said if there was a sort of person offense that it would be something to.
I believe that the intent is for this to be repeat offenses, but I'm not, I didn't look at the ordinance because
I didn't see it.
I literally discussed it this morning. And I think Mr. Higgins has worked with the chief on it today.
This is based off the state law that was passed like a month ago. Yeah. I'm assuming.
Yeah, and it's also basically based off other communities, Gloucester Township, Gloucester City, who had these types of ordinances in effect.
And I thought the main crux of that piece of legislation was for like groups of delinquents.
This is broader than that, because it does go for
Yeah.
parentals, but it's for parental responsibility.
So it's just different, that's what, so.
Yeah, the only ones that is all about
Because I was gonna say, just go back to, one, there's a little bit of a myth out there, officer can't ask a juvenile for your name, age, and that sort. They can if it's in conduct that that's unlawful. Yeah, so I just wanna make sure, and that's a little bit. So I just wanna make sure.
So I have no doubt. I also know that the guidance that our police get and the chief gets is that they can't so much as bring children, young people below 18 in this unless they're doing something serious. The prosecutor's office. So my statement was the other day, what if I told you to do something? And he said, prosecutor's office would come in, the attorney general would come down to every single person involved to receive an internal affairs complaint against them. That was the statement. Now, how much of that is hearsay, how much of that, I don't know, but that's clearly what they're being told and advised at a chief's level and maybe at a higher level. You know.
What if we had an ordinance in place that is counter to what the Attorney General's guidance is? I mean,
This is only for, again, rental, this is to bring the parents in. Can't charge the kids for these things. This is to basically try and change your by making somebody.
This wouldn't be pursuant to the Attorney General contrary to, because you're dealing with adults when you're doing this. I can tell you that Pennsylvania had, after the incident they had over there, they enacted a similar ordinance, and I prosecuted a number of people in regards to that. It's strictly a municipal court, strictly a rule.
But it's not, up to $2,000.
So that's not in there. That's not in there. There's no penalty.
But the penalties in there is by reference, it's pursuant to chapter 1-1.
The penalty ordinance is separate.
This is separate ordinance.
The penalty ordinance is not specifically expressly provided for in any. So there's a penalty ordinance which we, as
That's for the chapter 1-1.
which we have adopted previously. In fact,
1,000, yes.
Okay.
90 days, 10 to 90 days to jail, and potential.
Just to be clear, anything in this list, they would get into charge about the juveniles.
That list is not exclusive. That's, you see, it says.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the idea that you couldn't charge a juvenile. Right?
Well, it would be done on a juvenile.
So for officers, I'm just saying that for officers, we couldn't charge, so one of these they actually can. So, and I understand the parents, if that whole concept, that makes sense.
But in order to parent have to charge juvenile.
I don't know the procedure. Don't. I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
asking
no,
about
no,
the
I'm
procedure.
I'm okay. I'm actually in favor, because I do feel like there's not enough, there's been a lot of teeth. And just people, like, laughing, and just violating the rules, I just don't.
So that even says when a person is injured, is that going to have registered ordinance. So
Right.
therefore, we need to make sure.
Well, the ordinance is greater than that. Remember, this is just an amendment. of our-
Right, no, but I think what's happening is that pass right now.
This would include the curfew.
Our ordinance basically says, hey, the juvenile could be charged personally. The state's saying you can't charge the juvenile personally. But I guess that's my point.
Yeah, you actually for some of this stuff, public intoxication. Yeah,
Some of it.
that's the one that's sort of, but you can charge.
But then they went back and did that, but you can't, unless you have reasonable cause.
Only kids riding in the middle of the street blocking traffic, riding down Lake Lavender.
That's not the sort of.
Right,
That's
that's
not the law necessarily. I don't believe that is something.
well, to impede the flow of traffic. But that's my point, like, I mean, like, so, under 18, you would probably get off, maybe, but to have the juvenile charge, or whatever it is, like, that's gonna be pretty rough, and have the parent held responsible for that.
Yeah.
I think then makes the parent be like, hey, of course, what are you doing?
That's
And I'm okay with that, as a parent who has 3 kids, one of whom I am sure will probably.
If you check with me. 2006.
Not only saying, but knowing that, like, and I struggle with this, but having something this will close us.
Yeah, look, I'm personally frustrated, and I speak with the chief regularly about this issue and what we can have better. They're looking at us like, I don't know, all the guidance we're receiving, we can't even talk.
But I mean,
I'm exaggerating. We can't even talk. That's the
And that's what they say.
That's what they say.
But that's factually inaccurate.
It is, and they engage.
Because I don't know.
They do. But, so, the case in point is, we have this issue, the other day, okay? And this issue results in people who are able to be, they're able to be charged in some way, shape, or form. But they're not talking, right? They won't talk, they won't dine after the kids that were there, because this problem they created. There was damage to somebody's property as a result of this. They're not talking, we can't really get information, we can't go out and get kids, we can't do whatever. Well, I think that this would provide us the opportunity for one kid to do that. Possible. We can certainly get his parents, and I'm sure that they can bring charges and bring his parents. And I mean, I don't know about that specific circumstance, but what I'm saying to you is there are opportunities, I think. And I'd like to provide them as many opportunities as possible, because I'm frustrated by what I see. I mean, I was driving today, second time I was driving them, and I was on Church Road, and there was 5 young folks who just cut right in front of traffic going Church Road towards Cherry Hill. Just cut in front of them. I mean, could have gotten hit, didn't care. We're basically, impeding flow of traffic. But it's a nuisance issue, and one that I think the bigger issue is not those traffic, which are very annoying, but it's the issues when we have events in the center of our community, and something were to happen, particularly Monsterville, which we have had incidents the last 2 years after curfew. I would want something about this. That's kind of what my aim is. So biggest event is the most publicized.
Is there something else that we're reference to? Cycle.
They're looking at 18 registration.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm just stating for you, I've had so many meetings on that, actually can't go back
Spike shows.
Legitimately, they're all sold, they're all.
The only thing that here for these cyber, we're shifting topics, but
Only because it's a similar major use or something.
well,
There
people have,
guys.
but they don't, it's, first off, there's a guideline, not permitted to chase and not permitted, but, I know that some communities are employing drone technology, follow outside of their jurisdiction to the point where vehicles stop, and then trying to, you know, surround them and get something, hold somebody down. I just, that's dangerous. The people we're talking about, others,
And that's
not as likely as dangerous, but that's dangerous. There's a lot of other things
I mean, my biggest concern is kids who don't have driver's licenses that are, they're motor vehicles, that they're on the street or on the sidewalk and.
electric bikes are very frustrating. Scooters are very frustrating.
Or no, unregulated.
They're unregulated.
I think
My
my
gosh,
gosh,
is pulling out of when you're leaving Camden Catholic, you're right by the 38 exit there. There's only one way to track it. So he looked to the left, and when he went back to go to the right, somebody was coming in the opposite direction on one of those electric bikes, and he hit him. He was, not prosecuted, he wasn't found fault, they were driving in the wrong direction on a motorized vehicle, but there's no rules, and there's really no accountability.
There was something on the news, right? That's way.
New Jersey, well, when they come back, it's,
And it was result that a road was killed.
Yeah,
there was one down the shore, in New Jersey.
it's so anyway.
It's electric bikes. It's an electric moped.
It's right, sidewalk.
No,
So we sound.
we did.
When you said kids are cutting in bikes on the road, like, no,
That's like, oh man.
I heard like the biker myself.
I think also drivers understand bikes more.
Right, that's the issue, that the electric bikes walk on the road.
Roads are for cars, roads are for transportation.
Yeah, and when you're on an electric bike, you're moving. They're just 20, 30 miles per hour.
Mr. Gasson was here for the meeting and brought that specific issue up, other than multi use traffic jobs and prices. Didn't want.
But we could eliminate electric bikes.
We could,
They did a short.
he was telling me a story of 3 juveniles who, one of them, or 2 of them were on electric bikes, and one was on a regular bicycle. And he was walking and basically said, oh man, whatever. And he was asking about that, and some of the science that I'm sure that's what he was talking about. And I said,
The big thing I'll say, just because this topic, bring it up, is for monster owners, making sure everybody's have a problem to have plans in place for that. But it was a really sinking heads. And there's,
But the plans that we don't know.
no, there's other departments that provide it. And there's joint task force.
we have worked in joint with consulting in the last few years, and there's been definitely rated presence. We utilize all the resources we have, bikes, et cetera. But crowd control as a whole is,
Just a distance, it's, I know Burlington County's had joint task force for all that, so all this guys have responsible. If what happened was what happened.
right.
And they know the department that
All right.
operates, of course.
Chris,
Just, is there any additional information on residential or residents next to the chief level now?
that's not from the chief. Mr. Higgins brought that up. That is apparently bad. And so we wanted to get ahead of that issue, and that we're having pool parties where they were charging some tickets to Airbnb parties. I don't think so. Yes. Yeah, for some.
And dogs,
This is not.
And
easy.
TikTokers.
it's not easy,
It's not easy.
because that happens too.
But those aren't the people who are probably trying to enforce it. Talking about people renting their pools, having pop-up pool parties, selling tickets, it's coming you know, like social media, boom, having a bit party,
Does it happen in Marshall?
It's happening in Ulster Township and Liverpool.
It is not happening.
I know it's,
I don't know.
it's on. And basically,
Yeah.
I mean, renting. So.
Yeah, someone
the
else.
party itself.
Was gone for 3 weeks.
You're probably. That's it. And he was really responsive to some of the issues around the state.
Oh,
So yeah, I was just trying to get ahead of work. Part of these things.
yeah, I was curious if that happened already, that's why
Good.
Yeah.
I think like 4 parties or 5 parties.
Have your own pool party in your own yard, sure.
Entrepreneur. Is making money off of it.
We are.
So we have 3 items. One is the, bonus, cents. That's the first one. The second one is you'll notice the audit is on the, agenda for adoption. Of the audit adoption. There, county clause.
What's that?
Did you cover this?
I didn't know.
So we had the exit review, with the auditors, earlier this week. The audit was a clean audit. There was no findings, straight, some recommendations here and there on how we kind of follow it. It was just clean, analysis that turned out did not, it was just kind of explained a lot of holding them. Grants. Other than that, the audit was a very good outcome. So, acceptance this evening. And then finally, we have the properties that are actually happy about this one. We are down to 16 vacant properties, to abandon, sorry, 14 vacant properties to abandon. 16. But we have 2 of them, which break down, by the way. 7 commercial properties, 9 single family homes. Of the single family homes, we have 2 that should be for sale. So my only concern is that 11 West Walnut and Judge property is not from the big for like. So it's all fine. It's not our jurisdiction back over. So it was maybe time to hold again, I guess. 10 and hold back over property list because it's impacting. I don't know how we try to get around. Judge it's cool. So
Jurisdiction was there.
hands on. So and that was it. So that concludes all my reports.
Okay, questions?
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just letting everyone know that the tax sale process will begin on September 1st, and the tax sale is scheduled for October 29th.
Did you see an increase in taxes?
I don't know yet. I don't have the list yet. Have to usually get it from the tax collector, and so it's a little later than last year. So when we get it, I'll let you.
Then usually do. Will stand.
It does, as people get notice and paper.
I mean, just what like it go down to curious. I know that about 7, right? Just sort of that percentage is going up a lot.
Okay.
So we're usually pretty good.
Last year, 6.
I think we're down to 6 last year, but we typically did somewhere in that. That's what I just want to see if we're building back up or if it's dropping off.
Yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I get the list. Then the yard sale is scheduled for September 13th. If you want to register, we have forms downstairs. The townwide yard sale. And then the music festival is scheduled for September 20th in the center of town. And looking forward to that tonight.
Like the bands? Why? I'm just sitting there looking forward to it.
Well, I like I don't know the bands yet, I'm not,
There's all over Facebook, I saw some, there's an 8 fan, there's
well, then I'll definitely.
like a Grateful Dead band.
Just out of curiosity. Was there a approval for public park?
Yes,
I do not have.
Yeah, that's on new business.
yes, on the use of facilities.
Okay, we good? Any other
Good.
questions? All right. Community development report, there isn't, I didn't get a report.
No.
Back on vacation. A couple things. One, there's a joint energy board tomorrow, meeting tomorrow, there's 2 applications. And then there's also a special meeting at the end of the month, special meeting at the end of the month for wrestling academy at CBS. So that's exciting. That's so that's good. The only other thing is to write my live earlier when I said the response there is correspondence. This is from Chris Matter. As of August 15, 2025, screwing it. I saw it over. I'm very grateful for the council and town for everything. Back in October 2016, we've grown since that first day of council. We've ever since as we future good hands in space we give up and meeting places for merged goals surrounding communities. Beth and I will still be around so our life for over 9 years. Support this town and all good. So, get a chance to stop over for Thursday, I guess. Please do. I stopped by this whole person
It will be going there, so. They will store next to their meat.
do that.
Make a cameo.
So, we did the ribbon cutting for the tennis and pickleball courts. Successful. Nice to have those going forward. And then for the community center, so the development. As of today, 2025 revenue is just under $100,000. A lot of other still open dates, lower level, which has been a real push this year. We had 12 lower levels average annually. This year we have had 36 lower level events at 19. So done a really nice job. There's 15 weddings booked for this year, and weddings are really a major driver. Usually the weddings will take both other end. Just an update on that. Elizabeth's done a nice job over the last. It's good use of that facility. Questions? All right, CFO report, as Councilman Farnham mentioned, it's up for approval. So, one, old business. I got nothing. New business. Group use facility for Wellwood Park.
Application from the virtual home tour, for usage this Saturday of, the park. So because you very fast.
Well, there's another band later,
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
Civil War band.
Correct.
And I did check with them to make sure everybody was okay with 2 different bands.
So 2 bands.
Yes, so, and they're all
Parking could be a challenge.
different times.
What was the
But that's not so that's on.
Event.
The event is from 11 to 4. They're expecting 250 people. And this is going to be reviewed by Chief Gracia, by Callaway. See Kevin yet, but other than that, that's not all.
That's for this Saturday, correct?
That's Saturday.
Take your tickets. Don't have your tickets. Tickets. I have a motion to approve a second. Any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions. All right.
Is Anthony part of the council department? Think so?
He is. Right.
That's one. So it's the second one.
I'm aware of it.
That's not,
This is for the,
sorry.
No, it is. It's
It's
a resolution with the Senate.
joint meetings, yeah.
We'll do that separately.
Okay.
Council, any objection to, reading, the resolutions as consent agenda other than this one?
Doesn't feel like.
Looks like it'd be done for consent. Good, all right. I'll entertain, consent. Resolution 2589, emergency maintenance, repair, and modification of infrastructure facilities cooperative. Resolution 2590, approved raffle license for St. Peter Church. Resolution 2591, second audit. Resolution 2592, apply for open space grant. And resolution 2593, award solid waste bid. I have a motion. So, first, include the second roll call.
Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
McLuhan,
Yes.
Mr. Perno, Sprazza,
Yes.
Mr. Woods.
Yes.
That's four.
All right, so I'm going to wait to do this resolution until I find out whether council actually introduces the full party ordinance. I don't want to. So we have two ordinances that we'd like to introduce. 2510 and 2511 is the other one. Again, my goal is that by October 2511, like, so council would rather not push that tonight in September. I'll plan for that after further review, when we can modify or read, substantive changes next month.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're not.
So, it just looks like there's noise out there. So-
Yeah, I think it's fine. I just want to make it very clear, just for everyone to know. And I think we should have a conversation with each other, understands that the very clear part is when a person looks at applicant. So there's something about the applicant. So, and then just goes to each guidelines, so we need to make sure that they're understanding what their abilities are to enforce this as well.
Okay, so I'll start with ordinance 2510, amended chapter 94, zoning resolution for payment rentals. This is the introduction, first reading, and for adoption, public hearing on September 8th. Second, with the first, second, Mr. Woods, second, any discussion on this introduction? Hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
Mr. McLuhan, Mr. Perno,
Yes.
Mr. Sprazza,
Yes.
Mr. Woods.
Yes.
Somebody. Ordinance 2511. Do you have a copy?
Express when they, chapter 50, we're adding article 2 to chapter 50 for parental responsibility.
Pretty good. Adding Article 2, parental responsibility chapter. Very good.
That is the ordinance 2511, seeking introduction.
So, second.
First, Mr. Perno, second. Discussion and introduction. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
Mr. McLuhan,
Yes.
Mr. Perno,
Yes.
Sprazza,
Yes.
Council, as a matter of procedure, refer to the ordinance 2510 that we introduced earlier, because it's a zoning ordinance that requires referral to the joint for review and feedback as any other zoning ordinance would. So I have resolution 2595 that I'm asking council to walk on for certain matters. Land use board review recommendations pursuant to land use law. So, who's that from?
Second. Yeah.
Dale first.
Roslyn, first, second, first questions from the. Okay, hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Benjamin,
Yes.
Mr. McLuhan,
Yes.
Mr. Perno,
Yes.
Mr. Sprazza,
Yes.
Mr. Woods.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is financial reports.
Yes, at this time, I'd like to move, resolution for 25, $630,000.
Have a motion and a second. Second. Mr. Woods is the second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
McGlune?
Yes.
Mr. Colonel?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrazza?
Yes.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is
Yeah.
announcements and nothing. Okay. Everybody have a wonderful Labor Day, and end of your summer. No way to private session. Any updates on anything? I'll like to entertain a motion.
So motion.
Motion with second, Mr. Scarrazza. All in favor? Opposed, abstentions. Adjourned. Thank you, Karen.
Good night.
What?
Okay.
Wait.
We have to go.
Oh.
Thank you. I had no idea.